Enter into the dangerous dungeons of myth as a mighty hero and stand against the darkness. Visit the Myth Hub on beastsofwar.com and begin your story. Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, welcome to Objective Infinity. I'm of course joined by Killian. Right, we switched up the factions. It's Yujing versus Hack-Islam, and I'm taking the Yujing simply for the fact that they were my first faction, my first love in Infinity. So, Killian, my deployment's on your side of the table, but you're at my side of the table at the start of turn 1. What's going on here? It's your turn 1.
Well, it's my turn 1. We swapped sides here so I can show off one of the nasty skills that Hack-Islam have access to in the form of impersonators. Okay. So if you notice down here in the corner, right up next to Justin's deployment zone,
there's a little smiley face token. That's not threatening at all. That's a little happy face.
Wait till you see it in action, let me tell you.
Okay.
So impersonators are troops that are disguised as the enemy. So there's one of my units using the impersonator skill has gone right up to the edge of the deployment zone and is disguised as one of your troops.
Okay.
Now with impersonator, you can move right the way up to the enemy's deployment zone. You can even go inside the enemy's deployment zone. As long as you pass a willpower roll at the start of the game.
Right. I don't know. I don't like the idea of trying to work my way directly into someone's deployment zone, but I'm playing Yujing, so I'm assuming I don't get Impersonator?
No. So the Impersonator skill, there's only one in Hack-Islam who has it, or two in Hack-Islam who have it, and then Combined Army have one as well. But any army that has access to a hacker device, like a killer hacker device, or a hacking device plus, will have a program that lets them sort of mimic the abilities of an Impersonator.
Well, we'll
talk
deeper
about
into that later.
We'll
go deeper into that later.
So,
how does this work to begin with?
So you see that there's a marker here.
Yeah.
This guy is basically a unit, disguised the enemy. He's Impersonator level 1.
Okay.
What that means is that he looks like one of your troops, but there's maybe something slightly off about him.
Okay.
So your unit can attempt to discover him. But there's a big penalty because he's still very well disguised.
Okay, so basically my guys are looking at it going, the armor doesn't exactly fit, correct?
Yeah, there's something off about this guy. So spend one of my orders and we'll show him in action.
Okay, I'll send you an order.
Okay. The first thing he's going to do is start moving around this corner. So he's going to move 4-4. His first is round to here.
Okay. Alright, well you're in line of sight of both of my Zanshi there, so with it being a marker, am I still able to do my detect and my defer,
Yep. Against a marker you can always do a defer to see what it does for its second action.
Alright, well I'll tell you what I'm going to do. My Zanshi here, the closer one, will detect, and the further one will defer, just in case you decide to, reveal yourself and just start blazing away.
Okay. For the second action then, he's going to move ever so slightly closer, just to here.
Okay.
Now, with Impersonator level 1, whatever modifiers you have for Discover, you have a -6 on top of that. Because remember, man, you're trying to detect somebody who looks like one of your troops.
Okay.
So whatever modifier you have for Discover, which at this range is going to be +3, you've got -6 on top of that.
So I'm -3?
-3 overall.
Alright, Zanshi willpower, if I remember right, is 13, so 13. I'm looking for 10 or less.
10 or less. So go ahead and make the roll 10 or less.
11.
11, okay. So no effect. Basically, nope, nothing wrong with this guy. Now he's got closer. Okay. He's right up next to the enemy. Spend another order.
Alright, another one of your orders.
Okay. The first thing he's going to do is reveal himself by dropping down a smoke grenade.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to replace the impersonation marker.
Alright. As he's dropping the smoke grenade, can I take a shot at him?
Oh yeah, you can take a shot at him.
Alright, both my Zanshi there are going to shoot.
Yep. So
for the love of God, they're going to shoot.
We take away the marker.
Yeah.
And replace it with the Assassin Fide model. If you pass me just from next to there.
Yeah, I assume this is our Assassin.
This is the Assassin Fide.
I assume you'll need one of these, which is a smoke template.
Yep, I've got a transparent one here just to show what's going to happen. Let's just see what's going to happen underneath, because what's going to happen underneath is pretty cool.
Alright.
Okay, so the smoke grenade goes off.
Yep.
For his next action.
Okay, so hang on, he doesn't have to roll for the smoke grenade?
No, well, actually he has to make a physical +3. Hang on, I almost forgot that. So Assassin Fide physical is 12 +3 for this range, so it's going to be on 15 or less on 1.
Alright, well this should be easy for you.
This should be easy enough to do. Yeah, and he does.
Okay.
So the smoke grenade is dropped.
Okay.
We'll keep that there, actually his 4, because it's going to be, it counts as a dodge against the shots that are coming at him as well.
Alright.
And then for his next action, he's going to move into close combat.
Okay, so there's currently a smoke grenade template there, but my guys are trying to shoot just before the smoke goes, yeah?
Just before the smoke goes.
Okay, so, I'm on my reactive, so I get one shot from each.
One shot from each.
And my Zhanshi have a BS of 11.
So you're going to be +3 at this range. There's no negative modifiers because he doesn't have any camouflage or anything.
Okay.
So you're basically looking at +3 against my 4 for this smoke.
Okay, so I need to get between 4 and 14, yeah?
Yeah, 4 and 16 because you're
I've got 50-50.
50-50 chance.
No, 20 and 18.
Okay, so both shots missed. The smoke is still there.
Yeah.
So now this guy is underneath the smoke grenade and he's locked in close combat with your troop.
Yeah, yeah. So at the minute, our assassin today, he's about to stab my Zhanshi in the throat.
Yes. So now he's underneath. Nobody can see what's going on because they can't see through the smoke. He's now going to make an attack.
Okay.
So spend another order there. I have to make the attack here.
Okay, so there's your order for the attack.
Okay. He's got martial arts level 3, which is quite nasty. And he's locked in close combat with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate his close combat. I'm going to use martial arts level 3 to boost my attack by +3.
Okay, I must have martial arts.
You have quite high martial arts level skills, but not your basic troops probably don't have it.
No, they don't have it.
Okay.
No, they don't have it. Although my close combat is 14 to begin with, so it's...
And my close combat is 21.
Oh.
Yeah, he's an assassin, so he's very high close combat.
Okay.
So I'm going to be boosting this by +3, which means I'm going to do 24, which means that whatever I roll, I add 4 to it.
Okay. So I'm rolling this.
One dice each.
Alright.
Let's see. 15.
12?
12. Plus my 4 is 19, so I win. Okay?
Okay.
So I now do damage.
Alright, so hang on. Close combat is probably a bit of a rarity in Infinity, so take me through the sequence of how this is meant to work. Because I roll a 12, normally that's decent.
Normally that's decent, but I needed a higher number. So
it's just a straight roll off whoever gets the higher number?
Whoever has the higher number wins.
Okay, now you see that's a difference to the regular, because normally it's your skill or lower.
Well, as long as you're under the target number. So in my case, I had a 24, so whatever I rolled, I add 4 to it, and there's basically no way I can fail. In this case, I rolled a higher number than you, so I win the face-to-face roll.
So what if I had rolled, bang on my 14?
If you rolled bang on your 14, it would have been a critical, and I would have been very highly embarrassed. But then, yeah, in the case that I would have taken the damage instead.
Okay, so criticals still do take effect.
Criticals still do take effect.
It's just I want to be clear on close combat because Infinity, I don't expect it happens too much, and there's probably people sitting out there going, okay, you just threw dice at each other.
So you now take a damage 12 hit from an armor-piercing close combat weapon.
Okay.
So you need to roll whatever your basic armor is. I think it's 1 for Zhanshi.
Zhanshi, armor 1.
Yep, gets halved down to 1 because it can't go lower than 0.
Yeah.
So you just need to roll 12 or higher on 1 dice.
Okay. Nope, that'll be a 9.
Okay, so you get knocked unconscious.
Okay, so put the Zhanshi down.
We'll just dip her sideways.
Yeah.
We're still under the smoke cloud.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's essentially the end of the order because I'm still locked in close combat.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is spend another order.
All right, you're starting to run low here.
I am starting to run low. I'm going to do a coup de grace.
A coup de grace.
So whenever you're in close combat with an unconscious enemy, you can just kill them by doing a coup de grace by spending a short order skill.
Okay, so basically take the Zhanshi away.
Yep. She is now dead.
Okay. Still inside the smoke.
Still inside the smoke.
So this is you hiding the body?
This is me hiding the body. I'm going to move just inside the smoke to the edge.
Okay.
And now I'm going to spend another order.
Okay.
And because I can't be seen, I'm going to re-impersonate. So as long as I can't be seen by any of your troops, I can re-impersonate one of your guys.
Okay.
So I pop back to impersonation level 2.
Okay, I'm kind of wishing I had a multispectral visor here.
Yeah, that would be.
Would that stop you?
You'd be able to see through the smoke, but again, multispectral visors have no effect on impersonators.
But I can see you, therefore you...
I couldn't re-impersonate.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking there.
That's the best way to kind of deal with that. I could always just move around the corner, so out of line of sight, and then re-impersonate there. But it's handy since I'm under smoke, and I'm fairly sure you don't have anybody who can see me.
No, I don't think I have any multispectral visors on the table, but even whenever you're in and doing your stuff in the smoke there, the MSV would help me there?
It would, because you'd be able to see me through the smoke with an MSV.
Okay, that's just me going, this seems overpowered. Wait, is there a tool for the job? I think I found the tool.
We'll be talking about that in backstage. There are ways around this.
Okay.
So now spend one of my last orders there.
Okay, another order.
And he's going to start walking towards your other Zhanshi here.
Okay. Being all friendly.
Yep.
Gonna detect.
Okay. Same as before, you're suffering a -6.
So -3, so 10 or less.
10 or less.
This time I got a 9.
Ah, okay. So should you detect an impersonator who's in that level 1 state, he flips to level 2. And what that means is you know there's something up with this guy, but you're not quite sure what. He's definitely not one of your guys who you know from the barracks, but he might not be one of, like, he still looks like one of your guys.
Okay.
You now have to detect him again, but there's no modifier this time. It's a flat 0.
Okay.
But that's
so
not.
Is it not going level 2 to level 1?
No, it goes level 1 to level 2.
Okay.
And there is a reason for that.
Okay. No. It's just normally it's the other way around on these things.
So he's now got here. He still sort of looks like one of your guys.
Yeah. So you're in here, right next to my other Zanshi.
Yeah.
And well, I don't think you have enough orders to do it this turn.
But what I would do is essentially the same thing as before. Drop the smoke grenade. Avoid the thing. Kill the guy inside. Re-impersonate and start moving around.
Right. This is really nasty because you can pretty much crush someone's flank with that.
Yeah, it's a very good way of doing it.
And because all of a sudden I've lost one order out of my pool for next turn. If I think you could maybe have been a little more efficient with your order usage there, not bother with the coup de grace.
That's true. Well, you have to deal with it if you're in close combat with an enemy. You're still counted as engaged. So before I can do anything else, like do the long order skill, I've got to get out of close combat.
Right.
Quick
so
way
you
to do
have
that
to
is coup de grace. You can try and move out, dodge out of it, but it just makes sense because it means that you can't heal that guy later.
Okay, so yeah, you would have to spend the order to move away, or you can spend it to finish them off.
Exactly.
Okay, well, you see, that's good because now I understand why you had to do that. Instead of just going, I'm just going to stab him on the ground. I mean, just stand there going, you mean get?
Now, I could basically do this to start moving through your back line. And if I play it right, I can start working my way around, killing all your guys. It's a really good way of taking out the enemy lieutenant as well. An impersonator. Yeah,
well, I mean, like, I'm guessing you can just munch. I mean, like, if I went for the cheap lieutenant, one of the Zanshi, it's a shell game at that stage.
Yeah.
And if you're just munching through them, you're gonna get them.
Exactly.
So what you might see is during my turn, I'll go, right, that's my lieutenant, that's an impersonator, run.
Now there are different levels of impersonation. So the Assassin Vide has basic impersonation, which means it can impersonate any other human troop.
Okay.
But it can't impersonate a Toha.
Okay.
And it can't impersonate a combined army troop.
Okay.
Now, the combined army have the Speculo Killer.
Okay.
And the Speculo Killer has advanced impersonation.
Okay, is that this guy?
This is the Speculo Killer. This is the scariest killer in the game.
Okay.
The Speculo Killer can impersonate human troops and alien troops. So that's the only real difference. It can impersonate humans and aliens.
Okay.
That means it's really effective even against Toha, who normally don't have to deal with that. If you have basic impersonation and you go up against combined army or Toha, you can only impersonate to the level 2, which means that you don't have that -6 to start with.
Right. So hang on. Is this for the Speculo Killer or for the regular guys?
For regular guys. So for example, if you're playing a Assassin Fide and you go up against Toha or combined army, you won't be able to get to that level 1 state.
Okay.
Because your camouflage isn't as effective. But if you're playing a Speculo Killer, just against anybody, you can get that because advanced impersonation.
Okay, well, I mean, like, combined army players, you've kind of got something really, really good there.
She's very good.
I kind of want to hear some stories about this. I want to know, have there been any really bad beat stories where someone has just munched right through someone's army because of this? You know, I can imagine the rest of your Hack Islam are just, sitting back, chilling out, having maybe a bite of lunch, and just going, oh, there he goes, another one down. Here, are we taking bets on how many he's going to get before he goes down? Now,
there is another way to get an impersonator pretty much in any army.
Okay.
And that's using the skill Cybermask. It's a hacking program. So a hacker who has a killer hacking device or a hacking device plus can use the Cybermask program to disguise themselves. And what that means is, say, an interventor hacker or a Naga with a killer hacking device, they can go into an impersonation state, but only the level 2.
Okay.
So they don't get that level 1, they just get the level 2.
So it's just a flat detection roll.
Yeah.
But again, it's nice to have that, and I'm guessing they also don't get that, oh, by the way, I can deploy right outside your...
No, that's a skill unique to impersonators. Impersonators can go right the way up to your deployment zone.
Well, they seem ridiculously dangerous. I kind of want to have a bit of a chat with you in backstage about how to deal with them. Now, I think for that thing you were doing there with the smoke grenade, I think an MSV is going to work great for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are tons of other tactics you can use to actually take down impersonators. So, guys, we're going to move across to beastofwar.com. Drop your comments below. We'll see you there.
So I'm going to come out of camouflage and take a shot at you with my close range weapon.
Alright, so you'll need the Fide miniature.
So the Fide, he's going to spend his first. He's going to pop out like that, and he's going to take a shot here at the biotroop, who's the most dangerous guy there.
You sure about that?
What's the biotroop got?
Boarding shotgun.
Oh, no.
But this is the second part of your action.
Well, yeah.
And he detected.
So
your problem is...
We're onto a new order here, so I'm spinning a new order to do this.
Oh, okay.
Because we finished the last one we rolled the dice.
Well, this is really going to suck for you then.
Games of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game. Keep your blaster handy, the West is a dangerous place. Fight to survive as men turn to monsters and the dead rise on the Wild West Exodus hub at beastsofwar.com.